What's up, everybody? Welcome back to With the Boys podcast. I'm your boy Chris. That's your boy Brady.
I'm Negan.
And of course, we got our boy Nick here. And you guys always remember our boy Justin. Today, we have something special to talk with you guys. And I'm going to pass it over to your boy Nick to bring it up.
All right, sexies. We're talking about the Dyatlov Pass today. If no one that watches or listens to this, or if you guys didn't know what the Dyatlov Pass was.
I did not.
Brady did not. Negan did not. The Dyatlov Pass was basically, the best way I can summarize it is a group of hikers, about, was it 11 of them?
10.
10. Okay, 10 hikers, led by, his name was Igor, I'm going to butcher it. I think it's Igor Dyatlov.
Nope, you got it right.
Kind of. The group wasn't led by Igor. It was led by somebody else. The person
Really?
leading the group turned away.
No.
I'm wrong?
No, because I have it down as that the Dyatlov Pass
Was named
is
after.
the
Okay, yeah,
leader,
yeah.
Igor Dyatlov.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe
Chris and
I
Justin
guess
about to box
some
it out.
student in the group that was
Mhm.
hiking
Yes.
with them then.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
turned back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
oh,
my
We'll
yeah.
get
bad.
to that
So,
later.
yeah,
Quit
yeah.
jumping ahead. Let
No,
him
no,
talk.
no.
Hey, yo, I thought
Don't
it
attack
was
him.
the Dyatlov. I
Don't
thought
attack him,
Dyatlov was the most important hiker.
His
out
head
of
is in the
them
right
all.
space. Don't worry, okay? He's just, he's trying to make sure I'm fine.
R.I.P. to
Okay.
those USSR
Yeah,
folks.
rest in peace. Yeah. So they all died. They all died.
Besides one.
Yeah, besides
I'm
one.
gonna say-
Besides the one that we thought was
Nine died.
yeah, no, 9 died. But yeah, it was a group of 10 hikers led by Igor Dyatlov. It is called Dyatlov's Pass because he was leading these hikers up through a certain path up a mountain. And this happened in 1959 on February 1st and February 2nd. These 10 hikers, they all were found dead. Not 10, 9. One of them ended up feeling ill, and instead of continuing on with the group, he kind of stayed back and he was like, I'll catch up later. He caught up, but he,
What I had was that he turned back and went home.
Oh, he went home?
Yeah.
He
shit.
didn't go.
And then, like, I guess,
My bad.
and then I guess, like, this hike took too long more than usual. And so friends and family were starting to get concerned, and the search party got started.
Okay.
I don't think he went home. I think he went back to the village they was staying at before.
That might be
they-
like their base or whatever, like base camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before they took off to Mount
Mount
I
Rushmore.
don't know. It started with an O, and I think it had like 2 T's in it.
It's very
But-
hard to pronounce too.
Some Russian
think I
mountain.
remember.
Before they took off to that one, their final resting place, basically.
Mhm.
This guy was feeling ill right before they took off, so he's like, "I'm just gonna go back to the camp, to the city that we was at, and probably later on, return back to his home." However, these guys marched up the hill, set their camp up for the night, got a whole tent set up, and then sometime between that period and trying to hike forward, nobody really knows what happened to them, but they died.
Yeah, 9 of them were found dead. And the conditions of their death were very...
out over here.
Oh, let's go!
Flagged by YouTube.
Blur it out, blur the nipple. But yeah, the 9 hikers that continue on, they were found dead. And the conditions of their deaths were very they didn't make sense. So when hikers are going up there and it's cold like that, the first thing that they think of is they could have died from hypothermia. A lot of them had taken off their clothes when their bodies were found, and a symptom of hypothermia is you start feeling like really hot.
Yeah.
You're taking everything off, when in reality your body is you're dying, you're freezing. So everyone, when the bodies were found, they said that 6 of them died due to hypothermia. The others, they could not determine that hypothermia was the cause of death because of the injuries to the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the bodies, there was 2 of them that had caved-in chests. They were crushed. One of them had a fractured skull. One of them was declared to have hypothermia, but they also had a small fracture in the skull as well. And all of them were laying in water, as if they were down by like the stream. And everything that points, like when they saw their dead bodies, it all points to them trying to make their way back to their tents. They had set up tents, and they set up camp, assuming that they were going to continue hiking forward maybe the next day. So they're like, okay, let's set up here. And when they were found dead, it looked as if they were trying to return to camp or running from camp. A lot of these hikers, I don't know if you knew this, but a lot of the hikers, like I think 2 or 3 of them, they didn't have shoes on, and they just ran in the snow in bare feet. So that could be because of the hypothermia, or it could be hallucinating. There's a lot of theories about stuff that happened. One of them was missing a tongue. One of them was missing their eyebrows, and 2 of them had their eyeballs gone. And
they scalp their
this,
eyebrows.
you could think that they died of hypothermia, and maybe some animals in the wild came by, and maybe had some dinner. But when
Dinner with some eyebrows.
yeah, honestly, they said eyeballs are good. But
What?
the weird eyeballs are good. But the weird thing is a lot of the people that had like a fracture in the skull, they had no outside damage to their bodies.
No.
So if if Brady was gonna have a fractured skull, you would assume that somebody beat him, or he fell, and you would see the mark on his head. They did not have anything like that.
That's wild.
So there's a lot of theories about what happened to these hikers. Before we keep getting into the theories, these hikers were all experienced. They were not amateur hikers.
Oh, yeah.
They've hiked before. They've hiked as groups before. Dyatlov, he had done it plenty of times. Yeah, it's really creepy. There's a lot of theories on what could have happened, ranging from people think that they were near a military base that was kind of, locked off the grid, and that they died due to military action. A lot of them think that Yetis could have been involved, Yeti or Sasquatch. Some of them think that it is just a case of everyone suffered hypothermia and they started to, take off their clothes. Maybe they started to attack each other. Maybe they started to eat each other. One theory that I like is, it's kind of boring, I'm sorry, boys, but I like the slab avalanche theory, which is basically an avalanche that is ready to go at any moment, and that could have happened. And if an avalanche comes, crush.
The only reason I don't know if that's what happened is because, to an extent, yeah, it took a minute for them to find them, because they had a set date that they were supposed to return on, which I believe was supposed to be like the 7th or the 8th.
Okay.
But when they didn't return on that date, they started to get worried, gave it a couple more days, well, in our reality, a week or 2 more.
Yeah.
And then when they still didn't return, that's when they started organizing search parties, sending people out. So it was almost a month before they waited to actually go and look for these people.
Okay.
So to an extent, okay, maybe the avalanche had enough time to slide, fall, crush them, and then melt on top of them.
Okay.
I've never been to Russia. However, everything I've ever seen about Russia and the Russian area is that it is cold as hell. Like, there's not really no summer in Russia as far as I know. Now, I mean, I might be one of the dumbest Americans walking around this country. However, as far as I know, Russia's cold, right? Anytime you see Russian culture, what I think of is big fur coats, big, what are those called? Baklavas or something. Yeah,
the push ices?
Sure. Well, I mean, I guess push ices too. That's more American nowadays. But
oh, you're talking about like
push
the
ices.
you call them like the Kyle Brobowski hat. From, South Park.
Yeah,
The one that goes over your ears.
Exactly.
Those are nice.
I was gonna say, you just think of cold weather. So in all reality, is an avalanche gonna have enough time and enough good weather in 3 to 4 weeks to melt away to where they find these bodies?
True.
And at the same time, there was footprints.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't have found footprints if there was an avalanche.
That is true.
They would have covered them.
How would they know if they were on the way back to their camp if everything was covered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's theories that they pretty much had found something they weren't supposed to find.
Yeah, so I wanted to add on to your theories.
Mhm.
So you brought up the Yeti, you
Mhm.
brought up the Russian military. So another part, kind of with Russian military, is that they talked about how they saw like a red light because they met up. They saw a red light in the sky, so it could have been like I'm saying, adding to the Russian military that they're in a private launch zone.
Yeah.
And they can't be in there. They don't know that, but it's like, so they're thinking that, maybe if that's the case, then, they're kind of like, that's Russia's Area 51 then.
Yeah.
But, so there's that. Another theory is we talked about, actually, I don't know. Yeah, we did talk about it. The 10th guy.
Yeah.
Who turned back.
Yeah.
They had him as a suspect.
Mm-hmm.
As like, okay, did you kill all your,
Yeah.
everybody, and then you turn back, you're the only survivor. But they debunked that. They was able to get time frames and all that. So that one's out.
Yeah.
Another theory that people thought of was they weren't too far from a Russian gulag.
Okay.
They thought maybe an escaped prisoner could happen.
Welcome
That
to the gulag.
Yeah. But they debunked that. They had checked everything. All the prisoners were checked in for, so they were good to go on there. So, but and then you said Yeti.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
You talked a little bit about in the beginning that they had caved-in chest.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is heavy enough that could be out there to have a caved-in chest?
Bears.
So, yeah, a bear could have been one.
Yeah.
But,
however, a bear really would have came with surface scratch marks and stuff like that.
That is true.
On
when
their
I
bodies.
was watching a documentary, and we'll be posting the links in our video.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not in our video, but in somewhere along our video.
In the description.
Description.
I was watching a video. Some of them did have scratched up marks.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
it goes back to possibly the hypothermia,
Yeah.
where people were like getting
Freaking
too
out.
hot.
Yeah.
So they were, people were getting too cold. So they're cutting. So after, their friends are already dead, they're cutting their stuff off.
Right.
Because, it's faster to get the clothing.
Yeah.
So try to keep warm. So they thought that could be a thing. But one of the things that got me about this topic is why was this case open 3 times? It got so the first detective, when they started talking about the government and everything possibly doing this, they closed the case.
So
They just closed it. They didn't have no answer, didn't tell them an answer. It got opened again. And that's when they started to bring it up, maybe the launch site. They could have been in a private launch site. You can't be there. And then that's what they left it as. And they closed the case.
Mm-hmm.
Then last time this was open was 2023. They opened it up, and that's when the avalanche theory came.
Yeah, slab avalanche one.
So one thing I agree with Justin is, how are you seeing these people after an avalanche? How are you seeing the footprints? Because also on top of an avalanche, you get wind speed. So I can't remember what they called it, but it gets up to like 75 to 100 miles per hour wind.
Yeah, that's a huge gust of wind that be coming down.
So when that happens, you got snow also blowing everywhere. So it's going to cover everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's why I'm thinking the avalanche thing couldn't have been a thing either.
Right.
There was also another theory. I don't know if you guys know about there possibly being a KGB or KBG spy
Yes.
with the group.
Yeah, I've heard
Possibility.
about that theory.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the biggest theory for me, really, that takes the cake just because all the factors in it. A, the one guy turns around and goes back to the village. Sure, he might not have killed all of them, but if he was one of the spies and sent the message to his guys, who
So
are right past the border that these guys are hiking by,
so here's my thing.
it's very possible.
Yeah, but I only knew of in that video. I only knew of one guy that was a spy. The guy that went home wasn't. He was just one of the students or one of the colleagues.
Yeah.
One
And
of the
then
guys
all
that did
the
die.
others.
One of the guys, huh?
Okay, never mind.
So
You
one of
just
the guys,
them.
yeah, one of the guys that did die was a
KGB.
Yeah, KGB spy. He died. So
Mm.
also there was another theory, and I want to say I think this is the part where they started to close the case the first time.
Okay.
The other theory was radiation poisoning because when they looked further into the bodies, they found third-degree burns.
Yeah.
Radiation poisoning can give third-degree burns.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like governments are the only ones that can deal with radiation. You know, that has the most access to it. So if they're saying you are in a launch site and they're dealing with radiation, or you know, just dealing with
Nuclear-
radiation, trying to make something.
Wouldn't it be a nuclear launch site?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Could have been
So
like a
that's why
nuclear
it
launch
also
site.
jumps back to the
Where
private
was
launch
this?
site.
In Russia?
Yeah. You went, Russia.
They're like up there with nuclear weapons.
Oh,
so
I mean, yeah.
I mean, especially around this time period, it's about 1960. It's 1959. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is in the height of. You got to think it was only about 14 years prior when the nuke was dropped
Yeah.
for Japan. So
Which, I mean, a couple of the theories did say that they thought atomic testing was going on in the area and stuff like that, which, sure, that might have been the flashing bright lights
It
that
could've
so
been.
many witnesses in that area had seen around that time.
You're
yeah,
talking about the red light?
Huh?
You
No,
said bright
it's-
flashing light?
yeah, like
Yeah.
the big light
Yeah.
that they saw
So,
in the sky.
yeah, so when I was talking about that, the detective that got with them, or got with the group, which was where they stayed at, was with the or not stayed at, but the detective got with a tribe, the Mansi tribe,
Mhm.
and they were discussing about also seeing a bright red light in the sky
Mhm.
along the same time that they would have. So, I mean, that's why I'm scooting closer to like I think this was military action that happened that took place.
government.
I mean, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
military action, but at the same time, them doing testing like that in that area does not answer for the fractured skulls, the fractured chest, the missing eyeballs, missing eyebrows, missing tongue. None of that makes sense just because something was blowing up in the sky because they was testing some stuff.
And you got to think about it. If they
Uh,
were killed by the military, why that egregious of like injuries? Missing tongue, missing eyes, missing eyebrows.
So
Now,
I mean, like,
if they did
so-
eyes, tongue, ears, okay, hear no evil, see no evil.
Yeah,
say no
that would be
evil.
a
They
message.
was trying to teach a clear message. But
Hey, it's cold out there,
eyebrows,
you know,
like
like-
that makes no
Mm.
sense.
they got close enough.
They got close enough.
They got close
They
enough.
stopped halfway.
They
there.
translated the saying and from English to Russia, and
Well-
it said instead of ears, it said eyebrows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was like we
they messed up.
puppies.
Well, it could also be like they just like died of radiation poisoning. Animals could have came by, and like a bear could have just stomped on their chest, like walking over.
Yeah.
Well, radiation is also known to like get rid of your hair, right?
Yes. Well, no. I mean, not in all cases.
Radiation's really supposed to burn.
It's supposed to. It's
almost
supposed to
every
burn your
aspect
skin.
of
So
your body.
I don't remember, or if they talked about it, but
Theoretically, if you're found with third-degree burns,
Like, all your
over
hair would be
body,
gone, right?
Your hair is gone.
yeah, so that would be
Theoretically.
probably the reason why your eyebrows would be gone. I don't know what radiation can do to your eyes. Saying
But
if you
when-
consume this radiation,
Was their hair still there?
I don't think
remember.
so. I feel like if they had 3rd-degree burns and they if it was from radiation, I feel like around their missing eyebrows, or at least up here, you would see like, think of like a movie or TV show when someone is like bubbling up because they got like.
I will say, I mean,
That's
they
what I
did
feel
show
like
multiple pictures of like one guy, but he was just all bruised up. It looked like in the face,
that could be.
but
from
that could have been
radiation.
the burns because these are black and white photos. So I
Yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
it's bruised
true.
or if it's a
Bro
burn.
got beat to a pulp.
That is something that people theorize.
But I
is
mean,
that
like
they got
Justin said, I mean, it
absolutely
really just
mollywopped.
doesn't. You know, the
Welcome to the
whole.
gulag.
I mean, the only. It is kind of hard to like figure out what this could be because you just got so much going on at one time.
Mhm.
And the
could
more
be.
you look about it, the more interesting it gets. Because why is there so many? I mean, like here in the notes, there's something about how they made the families of the victims. They made them sign NDAs.
Good.
Yeah.
When here's another thing that I see in the notes: students, like other students, when they were trying to share funeral info, they were stopped. They were like, no.
Yeah, they tried to put up posters and stuff like that, basically saying, hey, so to celebrate the life of the hikers that died on this is when we're doing it. They went around town, they ripped down all those papers. The student who put them up got in trouble, told them that they could not do that anymore. Tried to stop them from being buried in their hometown. They tried to make it to where they had to be buried at the closest city that they died at when they was found.
That's weird.
5 of them ended up being brought to their hometown to be buried, which they supposedly buried then. Later, one of those bodies got exhumed.
Mm-hmm.
After it got exhumed, the first time they tested it, they didn't do a DNA test. They did some type of bone test that measured different points on their skulls. And there's supposedly 28 points on your skull when they do this.
Hmm.
And if it matches up with more than 13, it's a match. It had 14 points. So just one over. So they're like, all right, this guy's a match. I think it was Sarum. Are you looking at this
yeah,
over
I'm
there?
looking at-
What's the name on that?
Oh boy, I'm gonna butcher this name. It's it's oh man, I'm so sorry. Simeon. It would look like Simon, but the M is before the Y. So Simon, Zolotrayov.
Okay, so that guy.
Good enough.
Yeah.
He was
That guy. I'm not
Simon's
even gonna
body.
try.
Yeah,
I'm not even
it's
gonna
good
try.
enough.
I really I don't want to be disrespectful and keep trying and messing up. So
No, I mean
That's my
I
one
feel
go.
like you did a lot better than I could.
I did really good, to be honest.
what he said. Semen, whatever.
Semen.
Okay.
I said I don't want to be disrespectful.
Here, I was gonna say like Nathan over here talking about I don't want to be disrespectful.
Semen,
I was
whatever.
just like, I think I got it.
Damn near waved him off too. Oh, he's written off.
Oh man.
Woo, boy, it's
Sorry,
hot
it's-
down there. Anyway, yeah, so his body got exhumed. The first time they tested it, they didn't do a DNA test on it. They just tested some kind of skull structure test or whatever they did. I don't know, dude. I don't exhume bodies. All right, I fix
autopsy.
cars, dude, and run a podcast. It doesn't pay me.
Woo!
But
So-
they did that. They said, all right, he got 14 of the 28 points on the skull
Man,
point
that's half,
system.
ain't it?
They only needed 13.
That's half.
I feel like that's what my teachers was thinking, trying to like pass me through the grade.
It's half. He's
Look at
fine.
me. He ain't serious. I don't want to. I don't want to.
It's
I
like
mean, he's
it's
not
like,
over, but
it's
he's
like
not
taking-
under.
It's literally like taking a math test and you get pointed for everything. So like you get pointed for showing your work.
Mhm.
So it's like, I mean, he showed his work, so I'll give him half credit.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're like, well, all your math was correct, but you spelled your name wrong.
The body passed half the test, so I think it's a match. Sorry,
But-
semen. Sorry.
Rip semen.
God.
Oh god, I just started something. Anyway,
Oh boy.
the first time they exhumed him, they was like, "Yep, that's him. That's
That's semen
that's
right
that
there.
guy."
Woo. Simon.
Oh, dude, he had to
Semen.
hold himself back.
And then the second time they went back and they tested again. They did DNA testing this time. And they did DNA testing off of his niece. And it was like, I mean, it's a close match, but this ain't him.
There's no way it's him.
So, at the end of the day, it might have been his brother Nikolai, who was working closely with the Germans at the time of the World War, who randomly disappeared out of nowhere. But
I want it to be
it
known you
was not an
wrote.
exact match to him.
I want it to
So,
be known that you wrote that Nikolai was in cahoots with the Germans.
Yes, he was in cahoots with the
Cahoots.
Germans.
The German. The German.
The German.
German.
Everybody knows who the German
We know
is.
the German.
You know who I'm
was.
talking about.
Not semen.
Nobody salute.
Alright.
I want it to be known that I found out about
Whatever.
this incident. I think I've known about this incident for years. Like, I'm pretty sure I've read about it before because it seemed familiar. But I found out about this through a movie called, I think it's The Devil's Pass.
Yes.
Uh,
When I was looking this up
yeah.
to gather my notes, that came up.
Devil's Pass, it goes hard. I'll say that. It is a pretty good movie. It's not, I mean, it's not like the best, but it's very good at informing you or leaving it up to your imagination what happened to this group of hikers.
What was the audience reviews?
For me, it was good. I don't know
Except
how
for this audience.
What was
For this
Rotten
audience-
Tomatoes?
Do you want me to look at the Rotten Hang on, the tomato?
How good
So,
was
hold
it
on.
actually?
Hang on,
Hold
hang
on,
on.
I gotta ask you. Well, never mind. I don't want to ask you because, like, if people go and watch this, I don't want to ruin the ending. So I'm gonna ask you. Like,
No, I was about to ruin it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna count down. So like,
Spoil
if you don't want to be
alert.
spoiled, like, don't listen.
Skip
This is where you.
a minute ahead.
Hang on, I'm
Maybe
looking
two.
up Devil's
Depending on how
Pass.
depth it gets.
By the way, it's a found footage movie. Just letting you guys know. So it's through like a camcorder, as if.
It's a
Is it a
mid-movie, I
real
just
found
looked at
footage
it.
movie, or did they just record it that way?
They would just record it that way.
That's not right.
They're never actually found footage
No,
movies.
it's made to be
It's
like.
It's like a mockumentary.
That's like,
Like Blair Witch.
paranormal activity.
Yeah, that's a found footage movie.
Dude, it made me bro. It pissed me off so bad when I found out that those movies was fake.
Don't tell me you thought it was real.
Bro, when I was watching
Well, they're
them when I
based
was
off of
8,
some.
yeah.
Okay,
Some
no.
are-
Oh,
My bad-
wrestling
my-
was real when I
I'm
was
so
8.
sorry, I
Hold on,
didn't-
hold on.
We weren't
So, like-
clarifying that you
so-
were 8. I'm
So
sorry.
those movies are considered based on true stories.
Some of them. Yes.
But is it
Yes.
really based on a true story, or is it?
With their
Hey.
twist, though. That's based on a true story, but with some twists.
Hey.
You know, Texas
Hey.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Hold on.
That's not how
Look
that-
at twist.
Hold on. How long them motherfuckers been? How long have those been
You're
rocking?
fine. We're deep in the video. We're
Yeah,
good.
you're
We're good.
right. But how long have they been
Ever
rocking?
since we started.
So
Ever
they've
since
been
we
rocking
started.
since no,
Why?
they've been rocking
They
since
just-
I came up.
It's honestly probably because of
Yeah, they've been rocking
our
since I came
cooling
up.
system.
And if
There's
you, if
no
you,
way it's
Well,
pushing
cooling
that
system.
much.
It is no, and both of them. I'll let you know.
Makes it sound like we got money.
Pennywise, he just doesn't stop. I try to get them to stop.
Hey,
Pennywise
all I'm saying though is if like I'm cool with it, but Pennywise turns around, I'm running.
Nah, cause
That's
like
all I'm
Pennywise.
we was talking about the weird stuff, and I just look over and I
He's,
see these guys bobbing their heads, and I'm like,
Someone do the Inception
no
soundtrack.
way.
Okay,
All
so
right, well-
the tomato meter is 50%, and the audience score is a whopping 30%.
So it's a mid movie.
But I will let you guys know that I think it goes hard. I like it.
I trust him though.
Now, if you don't want spoilers for the Devil's Pass, hang on. Do any of you guys mind to be spoiled on this movie?
I do not care.
What about you?
No, we're good.
You do care, don't you?
Not really. I'm
Don't
gonna,
lie.
I'm
Don't
gonna
lie.
promise you that I might like even
Don't lie.
forget that we talked about the movie.
Wow. 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 Okay, so I'm spoiling it in
Go
a
ahead.
3, 2, 1. It was like the military. They got caught up. Yeah, it's fine. They got
It's
caught.
fine, trust me.
Yeah, it's fine. It was like that last time.
It says recording will continue.
There ain't no technical difficulties here.
No tech difficulties.
Nope.
I'm just
No,
over
what?
here trying to.
Nope. Nope.
What did you say? Tech
Yes.
Yeah, you
and
said
then difficulties?
yeah,
Dude,
no tech.
We're a part of the lazy generation that abbreviates everything. Let
Tech
me
diff.
be.
The tech diff.
Let me
No, he
be.
did. He
There ain't
did.
no
He
tech
did. He
diff.
said technificalties. So he did. He
skipped-
didn't say
he
difficulties. He
skipped-
said nickel.
He's-
I
he
can't even hear you say it no more.
He skipped the end of technical and the beginning of difficulties.
Hey, what Lil Wayne saying? We got the technical for
He got me
technical
even stuttering
difficulties.
over here.
Chris is so
I'm like over here trying to
baffled.
like word it out and I can't.
He's so baffled right now. He said, "Ain't no way."
Because like I didn't want to call him out, and then Nick started saying it. And I'm like, oh, he did say it.
Technical
Look,
east.
see,
Technical
Nick's
east.
baffled too.
No tech diffies over here, baby.
That's a tech diffy. What was I talking about? The ending.
Dyatlov Pass.
I'm ending. Well, I already spoiled it.
Well, the
3,
movie.
2, 1. They all die like they do in the real life story. And
But
it's,
how?
It's
Does it
through,
show
it's through
how?
the
Hold
military.
on. Here's the thing.
It does show how. It does.
So the movie.
The
Can't-
devil.
Wait.
No, hang on. Before you continue, I will say, from what I do remember, I don't remember every single scene very good, but I do know that they find a base. They find almost like a big door that is covered by snow, and they're
Area
like,
52.
this is not normal. What is this? And they're sitting there and they're like trying to like open it because it's frozen, and they're like, wait a second, this isn't frozen shut. They were like, this is unlocked and this is like open. So like think of like if you crack the door on accident, you don't shut that thing all the way, right? That's essentially what damn near happened in the movie. Also in the movie, they cover them seeing the lights. You also see, and since it's a found footage movie, there's a part where I think the person with the camera at the time, they're like doing one of these, like they're talking, and you could see as they're going around, there is like 2 figures in the distance watching them. So it adds to the fact that they could have been being spied on. There could have been military chasing them, and then also I'm pretty sure this might be me making this up. I ain't gonna lie. I don't remember. But I think they even tease that like it could be like a figure like a Yeti.
He said, I might have drank this.
I might have dreamt this and I just thought this would be cool. But they do cover a lot of different things that could have possibly happened to them. And I mean, they chalk it up to they entered a base that they were not supposed to enter. And then since they were in the base that they were not supposed to be in, they got.
Thank
They
God.
got
They
it.
were not supposed to be there. That is... Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that I think that the movie's ending is exactly what happened to them, but I would like to think that they found a base or that they entered an unauthorized, restricted area, and that area was not probably completely good by government standards. You know, probably some shady stuff going on. They weren't supposed to see it. That's why the families had to sign NDAs, because they probably had gotten told that, you know, so-and-so, you know, Dyatlov and his group passed into an unauthorized area. Here's an NDA.
The government just went to him. It was like,
Yeah, you know, they just show up to their house.
It was like, look, I
They were
mean, they
village.
seen some stuff they wasn't supposed to. We had to. I don't know what to tell you. Here,
I'm
sign
sorry,
this.
sign this. Here's a check. Don't know what to tell you. Don't go up there.
Happy hiking.
Don't go up there. So yeah, the movie, it's called Devil's Pass. It's pretty good. If anyone wants to watch it, even if you like watching movies after spoilers, I recommend it if you're interested in this topic.
So,
Yeah, you didn't know your boys was gonna be recommending movies on here all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm a movie guru. I'll recommend a movie once per episode. How about that?
Ooh.
How about that? Once per episode.
There you go.
So
Yeah, before we end, we'll be like, all right, we're gonna kick it off to Nick to give you your daily movie to watch.
and then I go,
He's gonna be like, so the next movie, Big Booty 7. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
He's gonna be like, hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville.
I should
He's gonna
like
jump off of something in here.
I should do like a I should recommend
Hey, shout
like
out to
all
Johnny
the-
Knoxville and the movies he
He's
made.
good.
I don't want to say the names.
Shout out to Johnny Knoxville on the WWE match that he did with Sami Zayn.
Hey, yo,
Oh,
you ever
that was
make
hot.
another jackass and you need another one?
I'll do it. I'll jump
Get
off.
outta here,
I'll do
bro.
it. I'll jump off. Of
You
something
would
for sure.
survive.
Just don't swing me around
me
in
or
a
Justin?
porta potty
Hi,
out of
both
like
of
a
you.
crane, because that's insane.
I think I'd be fine. I'm just not shoving no toy car up there. Or
Yeah, don't expect me to put nothing on my butt.
I'm not doing that. But I'll like,
It's a little too far.
yeah, no butt stuff. But I'll do some stuff. Just not. butt
Actually,
Towards
never
fine.
mind. I'll just watch from afar, Johnny Knoxville.
stuff. Yeah,
You're
never
a little
mind.
too
I don't want to be a
extreme
part of
for
the project anymore. Yeah.
Be crazy like Steve
Anyway,
I do recommend the movie. You know what? I'm gonna recommend a movie every episode. Movie for this episode is Devil's Pass.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so let's break it down here.
That's-
guys' homework.
Yeah.
So let's break it down here. I'm gonna start off with you, Justin. Justin, what do you firmly believe in that could have happened to this group?
It's always the government.
It is. It's always
It's always the government.
Nick?
I believe they stumbled upon an area or a base they weren't supposed to, and you know.
Hold on, real quick. Cause I don't know if we actually deciphered this, but back when this actually went down, Russia and USSR was two different things.
Oh. I don't think you said that.
USSR is Soviet Russia, Soviet Union, basically. Yeah. Now it's recognized as the Soviet Union of Russia or whatever. I don't know, something like that. But it's all one.
Mm.
But back when this happened, it was split into two, and they wasn't friends neither. They was fighting a war until one of them threw the white flag up. But that's also partly why I say it's government, because they was in the USSR hiking so close to the Russian territory. Like you said, KGB agent was involved, possibly close to a military base. There's just way too much to say that it was a Yeti, or the avalanche theory has parts where it falls off and doesn't make sense. The atomic testing theory has parts where it falls off and doesn't really make sense. To me, it's just it's gotta be.
Yeah, I do think that they entered an unauthorized zone, and then maybe the way that they were found, maybe they were planted like that, because you can't just take out a group of people that are known to be hiking up this mountain trail and be like, yeah, they all just disappeared. No, you have to let them be found and then let something be deducted from them.
Mhm.
So I think, maybe they messed these guys up. they just, planted them near their base because they were so close to an unauthorized area. Maybe that's also why it took a minute for... I'm assuming that could be a reason why it took a minute for search parties to be out, because it took 3 weeks for search parties to be out.
Well, these guys were all separated.
And that
Like-
doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, they were all found in different places.
And the
away
fact that
from
they-
each
the
other.
fact that they-
Hundreds of meters apart.
Yeah,
which,
and the fact that they had their base set up as if they were going to continue hiking the next day. Why would they all be separated, all from their base, and it looks as if they were trying to get back or run from an area?
Well, one of the biggest things that turned this to a mystery was that the tent that they had set up was sliced through.
From the inside.
Yes,
Yeah.
from the inside, and the footprints led from those slices
Yeah.
out of it. So what scared them out of the tent
Yeah.
to where they couldn't go through the actual exit and entrance,
Mm-hmm.
to where they had to slice through, run away.
Now,
And then on top of it, they was found by a fireplace. or the remnants.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
a pirate.
as if they ran and they set up a fire.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like they ran, got scared, maybe lost, couldn't
Yeah.
find their way back to the tent,
Right.
back up the hill, whatever it was,
Mhm.
and then they made a fire. But that lets you know that as like the points from when they sliced the tent open, fled, versus when they made that fire, they at least survived some hours
Yeah.
after they sliced through that tent to run from whatever they ran from.
I remember.
So that's where
hearing
the
that,
whole Yeti theory falls up.
I remember hearing that some of
Well-
them had been deducted who have died separate hours from each other. So like, I remember there's a video from I think the Lore Lounge. Shout out the Lore Lounge. He was explaining the Dyatlov Pass, and I think if I remember correctly, some of them like would be dead, like pronounced dead by like 6 a.m. And then like another one who would have been 50 meters away decided to walk up near them, assumingly would have found the body because his body was pronounced dead around 9 a.m. You know, an example like that. I heard that they were pronounced dead at different points in time.
That's wild.
I mean, that
But-
might be
but-
possible, but I feel like when
Then
you
how?
find them a whole month ahead,
I was gonna
of
say,
when
then
they
how?
died, I don't know how you're determining.
And they're supposed to be frozen.
hours
technically.
away. Like you might be able to determine days
Yeah,
away
yeah.
if they died separate days, but after a month, how are you determining what hour they died?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
just
I don't think
kinda-
they determined what hour they died. I just think they determined that
I was say maybe if they
They're-
was just using how far they got from their camp.
maybe.
However, if like we talked about, they took time to stop, make a fire,
Yep.
try to warm up,
Yeah.
then that you can't go by that.
And if it's
That
the
means they stopped.
hypothermia theory,
Try to keep going.
why would they run from their tent? Why
Yeah.
would they slice from the inside? Personally, if I'm in a tent, the only reason I'm not gonna take the time to zoop open that zipper is if someone's coming after me. If a group or something's
Have
coming after
you
me.
I mean,
played
this
Until
was-
Dawn?
Yes, I played.
So, what are those creatures called that attack you?
The Wendigos.
Do you think the Wendigos have to do something with that?
Possibly.
Because if you played Until Dawn, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming you haven't played it.
No sir.
It's a good game.
It is a good game. It's a like choice-based game.
It's interactive, choice based, and then a
Mhm.
horror game. It's if anyone listening or watching doesn't know what Until Dawn is, it's a very good horror game. It's choice based, and it's like your perfect teenager slasher movie. That spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Find out it's not a slasher coming after you. It's them damn Wendigos out in the cold.
Now I ain't played that. However, I do think I might have heard about Wendigos. That's some
So-
type of wolf hybrid creature, no?
Some abominable creature thing.
Yeah, like they take different. They kind of come in like different shapes and sizes.
Typically run on 2 legs, but they got really big claws.
They're fast as hell.
Hey, they fast.
But
Them
they'll
boys fast.
like drag you to different places and
Yeah.
other stuff. So that's why I was like, maybe they're running from Wendigos or something. But
They
I
could
don't
be.
know if that's up there.
Definitely from something, considering they cut out the inside of the tent.
But, yeah.
Yeah, that just tells me that someone was coming after them. I don't. Maybe
And-
something, but maybe someone was coming after them.
Based on, so I think the government did have to do something with it. Maybe, they're like they saw something
Yeah.
and they just went back to their camp, and somehow like there's like people watch, what's it called, scouts
Yeah.
seen people, and they seen them find like some type of entrance, so they were probably tracked down and probably got caught, interrogated, then disposed of.
Yep.
I mean, that's my theory. I have no idea. Like I haven't looked into this.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Same thing, government, but
Okay.
mine's more due to the fact that the radiation thing. Because
Okay.
they found radiation on their clothing,
Yeah.
and then later on found
That's-
found their third-degree burns, which is
Mhm.
caused by the radiation poisoning. So, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Is that it was a government cover-up.
Yeah.
So, like, don't you think that they got interrogated? They could always got burned,
Don't
From
you wish your
interrogation
girlfriend was hot
or-
I mean, yeah.
like me?
frozen, freeze. That's how they got hypothermia.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
They could
I'm more
they
of
could
the
have
fact
used
just.
radiation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they couldn't, but I'm just going with the fact that overall it's just radiation, and
Yeah.
government's now trying to cover that up.
And like
That's
they
why they
just
had to
like
close that
dispose of
case and, like
Mhm.
you said, make all families sign those deals.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely. I think the government had something to do with it, considering the families had to sign NDAs.
dispose of their bodies
before-
and let
Dispose
animals
of the
eat
bodies.
on them, walk on them, spread them out, make it look like an accident.
so, but I do want to before we close
Walk
out.
on them.
Before we close out, there's two things I wanted to jump on top of, and that was something Justin said when he was talking about the USSR and Russia actually not being together; they're against each other.
Yeah.
And him saying that they're so close to being towards Russia. What if it was military action and that they killed them thinking that they're, part of the war, and they
Like
killed them
spies.
and, took out their eyes, fractured their skulls, and
You're
basically
right.
left it as a message for them
Yeah.
to see. But, they're not a part of the war, so people are like, what could have done this?
I like
Set
that.
of
That's a
food.
good theory. I like that. I like that. That's a very good theory.
That's what I was saying of when Justin was talking about it.
Mhm.
So.
That could also play into the KGB spy thing too. Yeah, that could. I could
Yeah.
definitely see something like that happening. Regardless of what did it, I just do think that they were disposed of in some sort of way, whether that be they were near like an atomic testing site, whether they were mistaken for Soviet soldiers, or if they wandered into an area, like an unauthorized area they weren't supposed to. I don't think it was a Yeti, and I like the slab avalanche theory for the fact that I think the slab avalanche is kind of cool, but it's not. I don't think that's what happened. I mean, seeing that there was footprints, seeing that we could see a fire was made. How would we even see all of this if it got covered by snow? There's no
Yeah,
way.
like I told you about the wind.
Yeah, there's no way that anything
Like
would
that
be
wind's
left.
blowing snow at a
They,
good
they
pace.
found their clothes near them and stuff too. So like if there was wind, that shit would have been gone. That would have been blown away.
Or
I don't think it was an avalanche, and I don't think it was a Yeti. I think it was either military action or they got murdered. I don't know how to put it. They got murdered and they got disposed of.
Yeah, because I mean, with the avalanche theory, you got to think coming out with a fractured skull. That had to be some heavy hitting snow.
Yeah.
Like,
Which it would. I mean, if you are the victim of an avalanche, that is the injuries that line up with an avalanche. You will have a fractured skull, caved in chest, or you could have like sunken in eyes. Like that is stuff that could happen because
Yeah,
of the weight.
but
from the
then
snow.
later on, when they find this
a missing
radiation on
tongue
their
or
clothes,
radiation.
well,
it
say,
doesn't
when
make
they
sense.
find radiation on their clothes, then it's not making sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, sunken in eyes is one thing, but missing eyes, like as if they were
Some
cut,
bird
missing
got hungry.
eyebrows, missing tongue, it comes off to me as if, like you said, it was a message.
Yeah, that's what I
probably
mean.
plucked
After
them
Justin
eyes.
spoke about like what he spoke about, it really kind of opened up my eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay, like maybe they're leaving a message for, them trying to sneak over or something.
It's like, thinking as if you're about to cross our border, you're crossing into our territory. This is what happens to people that get this close. So, look at that.
Final thought and theory. The KGB agent that died in the group was about to turn on the KGB but the KGB found him first and slaughtered him and everybody he was with, and that taught him not to mess with the KGB.
I like that. Damn.
All right.
Come on, you a heavy hitter.
All right. So we got Justin's final theory. Nick, what is your final theory?
They were in an unauthorized military base, or unauthorized military area, and they saw some shit they were not supposed to see, and they got.
Ran up on him talking about, you got knocked the bleep out.
Welcome to the gulag.
I did it myself, Brady. You ain't got to worry about it.
All right, Brady. After not looking into it and hearing about, this
Government.
conspiracy theory, what do you think?
Government, for sure.
Okay.
They'll do anything to hush people. They don't care about us.
We should start a revolution.
Look at JFK.
So my final theory is I'm gonna stick with what on top of what Justin was saying. I'm gonna say that Russia was leaving a message to the Soviet Union. So that's what I'm gonna go with. It's just a lot's going on at one point. It is hard to kind of figure out what this actually could have happened. Huh?
I was just agreeing with you.
Oh.
I'm so stuck on that he said JFK. I saw. I don't want to cut you off, but I saw a meme about our president, our man, and he was on 50 Cent's body, and then it talks about JFK, and he said he got shot like I got shot, but he ain't fucking breathing.
Oh man!
I say, let us know what you guys think and what your theory is, or what theory you believe in.
Yeah, definitely let us know what you guys think. We would love to hear about what theories you could come up with. Just
any more information.
I didn't hear or write down any theory about leaving a message to the Soviet Union.
And we just all came to that.
One now.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have any other information on it too, I know that transitioning into it didn't seem like we knew too much about it. So, if you guys have any other information, any other sources, we would love to hear it.
Well,
I'm super interested in eventually knowing what happened to these guys.
Your boy sat down to conspire. It sounds like we just don't trust our governments.
Nope.
So
why should we?
We shouldn't.
So other than that, as you guys know, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. Follow our boy Justin.
Smash that like button.
Definitely smash the like button.
We need likes, people.
We need likes. We need likes.
We see your views. Come on now.
Because if you guys ain't conspiring with the boys, who you guys conspiring with?
No one.
better not be that government.
Nope, not
We out.
not KGB.